So I'm going to turn that around, do the other way. So if you're struggling to get it to come back off, just hit it the other way down a triplet. And then check the size of your stone again. Still a little bit tight. That's okay that way. So I'm just going to stretch that again, just a tiny bit more. Turn around to do the other side. And then just check again. And if it fits around it quite snug without anything coming off the bottom and that, then you're pretty much ready to go, okay? Obviously try not to squash this or anything after this point. And your next step is to basically solder that onto a piece of sheet metal or something that you're going to use, okay? It might actually just be a tiny bit tight. There we are. So, next step, to get a piece of metal that you're going to solder it onto, okay? I'm actually going to find a little bit of silver. So I've got a little bit of silver here. So I'm going to bring this over here and solder this. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You probably want, if you can find the gauze, probably want to solder it on the gauze. You want to try and keep the heat sort of on the plate at the bottom rather than on your stone setting. If you direct the heat straight at your stone setting, you'll probably find that that'll melt pretty quickly. Okay? So I'm just going to put this here. You probably want to get close to see how I'm going to line up this solder. Put a tiny bit of solder there. So, to heat up the bottom sheet, so the heat gets more to the bottom sheet than the top. So you want a bit of solder, a bit of flux on the bottom of your stone setting here as well. And place that on. And you want the tiniest little bit of solder. And you want a little bit of flux on your solder as well. So you want to place your solder inside your stone setting, just kind of leaning against the wall slightly. Okay, and then you take your torch, so this is the trickiest bit of the whole process because it's very, very easy to melt your stone setting. So you want to try and keep the heat going around but without directing it straight onto your setting. So I'm aiming it more at the sheet than at the stone setting. And the heat will basically travel along to the other side. Try and heat the whole thing as equally as you can. So basically what should happen is the flux will kind of lift up the bezel a little bit, lift it up, and then it will drop back down, and then you'll see a little silver line run around the whole thing. You want to make sure that silver line's ran around the whole setting, otherwise you'll have problems when you actually set your stone. So instead of just blasting it with the torch, just kind of sort of slowly waft it around so you can see the colours building up gradually around all of that. And that's the solder just about to run there. So once you've done that, obviously quench it and then put it into the pickle to get rid of your flux and that. So I'll just do that just now. And I'll bring that in the pickle. Really important, remember, never ever put any steel in the pickle. Never put these in the pickle, and never put the soldering tweezers in the pickle. Only ever use the brass ones. Otherwise, everybody's work in the pickle will turn to copper. You know, you might have somebody with a 500 quid bowl in there and it will turn to copper and it's wrecked, you know, so really important, never put any steel in there.
See what it says in that pickle that's only for copper or brass?
Yeah. Yeah, there's another one up the stairs for silver, but it's the same. Even if somebody pickle, this is one that I press formed. So that one then in the middle of there, what you would normally do if you're going to put it into like a ring or something is you would saw around the bottom of the stone setting and file it up, and then you would solder that in. This one I've soldered straight onto this sheet here, okay? But if you're doing it for a ring or a piece of, you know, something smaller, the traditional way would be to cut around that sheet that I've got in there, file and sand it, and then the next bit you would do is to drill a hole in here, and I'll show you why that is. So I would probably, ideally you want to punch this, but I've already put the setting on it, so I'm just going to go in with the drill just now. So, yeah, you've all had an induction on it, yeah? So I'm just going to put a really small drill bit in here. And just make sure it's nice and locked. And I'm just going to put my piece in and just put, you want to put a tiny hole right through the middle of your stone setting of the base of that. Okay, put a little hole there, right way through that piece. The reason you do that is it's very, very easy to get your stone stuck when you're setting it, and then you maybe need to change something about it. So you can stick a little wire through the back and pop your stone back out again. Otherwise, it'll pretty much be stuck, okay? So, next thing, anyone got any scissors? No? Nobody?